Hello, my friends. How about a workbook page? How exciting! Workbook side by side, page 66. Are you ready for this? I know you're ready. Well, this is present unreal conditionals, and this is difficult, I know, but hang in there because it's the imaginary tense we all want. Because I don't know about you, but being in quarantine, I like to imagine. Ah, if I went to the beach, I would go in the water. Remember that in this imaginary tense, present real, unreal conditional, the if clause takes the past tense and the would clause takes the present tense. Isn't that exciting? Well, let's try this workbook page. We already tried our textbook page, and I'm going to try to make this a little bigger right now. All right, let's see if we can do this together. Okay, so number one, if my apartment was or were, now this is a good reminder that when we're using this tense, we're always using were. If she were, if I were, if they were, if you were. Now, as I mentioned before, it's becoming more common to say if I was, but in perfect English, it's if I were. Okay, if my apartment were bigger, I would be more comfortable. And how about this one? If you exercised or exercise more, you'd be stronger. Remember, we need the past tense. If you exercised more, you'd means you would be, present tense, stronger. If it were a nice day today, we would go to the park. Now you know that it's unreal because it's past tense. Now, just by the way, to make this real, if it is a nice day today, instead of were, if it is a nice day today, we will go to the park. That would make it present real conditional. Remember that uses will. Aren't you excited? Oh, I am. Not really. Grammar. Boring, but necessary. Don't you love it? All right, number 4. Remember, if takes the past tense. If I got paid more, I'd be happy working here. All right, number 5. If I were going to be here this weekend, I would see a movie with you. How nice. We can't go to the movies right now, but you can see movies on Netflix or that other iTube or, I mean, YouTube. I know YouTube, but Tubi. Tubi. You can see stuff on Tubi. Okay. If, oh, don't you feel that way sometimes? If we had more friends in our apartment building, we'd be much happier living there. Number 7. Remember, if takes the past tense, so tuned. If you tuned up, that means keep it in good repair, change the oil, check the fluids, check all of the levels of everything. Make sure it's running correctly. That's a tune up. If you tuned up your engine more often, you'd get better gas mileage. Tuned. Number 8. If you slept more, you'd feel more energetic. I'm going to say that in a typical, like I would talk to my daughter. If you slept more, you'd feel more energetic. So you see, I speak faster, and you can barely hear the D on you'd. All right, and number 9. You got it. If she were more careful, she'd be a better driver. Number 10. If you were older, we'd let you stay up later. If Rick and Rita had more in common, I'm sure they'd get along better with each other. Now, had more in common, you learned that on the textbook. Had more in common means more similar preferences. You like the same things. He likes movies, she likes movies. She likes to cook, he likes to cook. They have so much in common. And also, to get along better with each other means to be friendly and cooperative with each other. Number 12. If the president were more concerned about the environment, he'd do something about it. Wow. We have a strange environment right now with coronavirus, and I don't even know what to say about the president. Except we need to be smart and be careful, all right? And be clean, washing our hands. All right, now let's see if we can do this listening part down here. All right, I'm going to try. Let's see if we can do it.
Page 63. Exercise J. Listening. Listen and choose the polite response. 1,
Do you think it will snow soon so we can go skiing?
What? Let's try something else.
2. Page 66.
There we go.
Exercise
Sorry.
N. Listening. Listen and choose the correct answer based on what you hear.
Ah, that's better.
1. You know, George, if you took more vacations, you'd feel more energetic. 2.
I would enjoy listening to the orchestra if the musicians were more talented.
3. If you were more aggressive, you'd be a much better used car salesman. 4.
Bob's car would be in better condition if he tuned it up more often.
5.
If they had more in common, they'd get along with each other.
6.
If Mona were a good teacher, she'd care more about her students.
7.
We would be able to use the internet if our school had more computers.
8.
If these cookies had more sugar, they'd be sweeter.
All right, let's try that. And I'll...
Page 73.
No.
Page 66.
Yes.
Exercise N.
Let's try that together.
Listening. Listen and choose the correct answer based on what you hear. 1. You know, George, if you took more vacations, you'd feel more energetic.
George probably feels tired.
2.
I would enjoy listening to the orchestra if the musicians were more talented.
The musicians aren't very talented.
3. If you were more aggressive, you'd be a much better used car salesman.
If you were more aggressive, which he isn't aggressive enough.
4.
Bob's car would be in better condition if he tuned it up more often.
Bob's car needs to be tuned up more often.
5.
Are you getting these?
If they had more in common, they'd get along with each other.
They don't have a lot in common.
6.
If Mona were a good teacher, she'd care more about her students.
She isn't a very good teacher.
7.
We would be able to use the internet if our school had more computers.
The school needs more computers.
8.
If these cookies had more sugar, they'd be sweeter.
They aren't sweet enough. I'm going to have to listen
Page
to number 7 again,
73.
but I don't
Exercise
want to because
U.
it's already too long. So, if you have a question about number 7, let me know. All right, my friends, I hope you had a good time. I know I did, and I will see you tomorrow.